Welcome to the Horror Next Door. This is our favorite new horror trailers from September 2023. If you like this video, please subscribe. Now, on with the trailers.
Toxic Avenger. A horrible toxic accident transforms downtrodden janitor Winston Goose into a new evolution of a hero, the Toxic Avenger.
The Toxic Avenger is directed by Macon Blair, who hasn't really directed very much but is known for acting in movies like The Hunt, Green Room, and Murder Party. The Toxic Avenger stars some actors that need no introduction, such as Elijah Wood, Kevin Bacon, and Peter Dinklage. It also stars Chris Sharp from one of our favorite films, Murder Party.
Well, when I first saw that they were remaking this, I thought it was really just kind of weird and pointless. I think the charm of the Toxic Avenger movies is that they are trauma pictures and you automatically know what you're getting when you watch one of those films. Also, the trailer doesn't reveal too much. Obviously, they're going to refrain from showing their hand because they know that they're remaking something that a lot of people have already seen or at least know of. They don't want us to know everything that they changed or expanded upon or took away from the story. I do remember watching the Toxic Avenger movies when I was a kid. I don't remember which ones I have and haven't seen. I don't remember many details. I haven't watched them in years. So a part of me wants to at least watch the first one again before checking this out. But regardless, because I'm not a huge fan of those movies, I wasn't super excited about this until I saw that it was directed by Macon Blair. Macon Blair and the Lab of Madness crew made Murder Party, which is one of my all-time favorite movies. I never get sick of it. Macon Blair went on to star in quite a few notable films. Another one that I wanted to mention is Blue Ruin because it was a great film. Jeremy Saulnier directed Murder Party, also Green Room, also Blue Ruin. Macon Blair and Christopher Sharp, who was the cardboard knight armor wearing fellow in Murder Party, were the OG members of the Lab of Madness. Clearly, the friendship that they developed and the interest in film that came about back in the 1980s continues to this day. I think that is rare and extremely awesome, and I'm a fan of so much of their work. At first, I just wasn't super psyched about it. Like I said, the trailer just doesn't reveal very much, so it was hard to be, right? Especially as someone who's like on the fence and just sort of meh about the original Toxic Avenger movies. Then I see a familiar name in Macon Blair, and then I see this cast. Elijah, Mr. Bacon, Peter Dinklage, and Chris Sharp, one of the dudes from Murder Party, one of the Lab of Madness guys. Just so psyched to see where this goes, how different it is. I can tell, I mean, obviously, trauma is what it is, and I appreciate it for what it is, believe me. But I can tell just from this pretty quick trailer that you don't get a whole lot from, that the quality is already insane compared to what the original film was. Some of these really big names being in it is wild to me, considering, again, that it started out as a trauma thing. I have a good feeling this is going to be a pretty big deal in the horror world. I hope it's awesome. I hope it does well, and I really look forward to seeing it.
So usually we do not talk about teaser trailers because they really don't show off very much. But because this trailer just looks so batshit crazy and has so many stars attached to it, we just had to talk about it. Even though this trailer doesn't show off a whole lot, one thing that it does show off is the gore effects. There is one shot where one of the goons has his bottom jaw ripped off by what looked like Toxic Avenger's like staff or something like that, but it looked pretty damn good. And if the rest of the movie looks as good as that, then this movie should be a bloody good time. One thing that I would like to note about the Toxic Avenger is one of our favorite movies, obviously, is Murder Party. If you haven't seen it, go see it. The actor Chris Sharp is the main star in Murder Party, and I noticed his character name in Murder Party is credited as Christopher S. Hawley, and then I noticed that his character name in Toxic Avenger is C.S. Hawley. So could he be playing the same character? I'm not sure if he is or not. I'm not sure if I discovered some kind of Easter egg that shouldn't have been revealed. Who knows? But all I will say is, if Chris Sharp shows up in Toxic Avenger wearing the cardboard costume that he wears in Murder Party, I think Hellcat and I are just going to flip our shit. So even though this is just a teaser, can't wait to check this movie out. Hopefully they will release a full trailer soon and maybe we'll talk about it all over again.
Soulmates. Soulmates follows Allison and Jason, two unsuspecting strangers who must find their way out of a nightmarish maze that they were forced to get into as part of a twisted new dating service created to help them find their soulmate. I don't suppose that I was overly impressed by the trailer itself. I do think the fellow with white hair that is sort of hosting the event or situation or whatever you want to call it was rather creepy, so that's effective. But it's definitely this idea and this plot that has me very intrigued. It's a pretty original idea, but when I watched it, I kept thinking of other aspects of familiar territory, things I've already seen, and I kind of just thought in my mind, it's like a mixture of Escape Room, Saw, and Squid Game. All of those elements are from things that I really liked and enjoyed. I mean, the first Escape Room movie, not the sequel. And I'm talking about the really popular high budget ones, not all the other random movies called Escape Room that mostly suck. Honestly, just really want to know what is going to occur here and whether this dating service is going to do its job. Are they going to end up together? Are they even going to make it out alive? It's going to be interesting.
I think Hellcat really hit the nail on the head with the whole Escape Room Saw mixture. Honestly, the same exact vibe I got from this trailer when I watched it. There does look like there's going to be some weird shit going on. I think my favorite part in the trailer, which I really can't wait to see how it kind of turns out, there's some guy suspended in the air. He looks like his hands are kind of tied behind his back. But then there's another shot where we can see what's below him, and it's one of those big grinder things they have in like junkyards. So I'm really curious, is he gonna fall in? Are they supposed to rescue him? Or I don't know. What did this guy even do to get put into this predicament? I guess we'll find out. The movie looks cool. Can't wait to check it out.
Tenebris Somnia. This is a video game that centers around a young woman who has been experiencing nightmares of monsters attacking her ex-boyfriend. When she visits his place to check up on him, she finds his apartment is a mess, but you soon discover that that is the least of her worries. Tenebris Somnia is a horror adventure in the same vein as survival horror classics, transferred into a retro 2D environment. However, when you reach key points in the game, you will see cinematic sequences with a completely different aesthetic, made in live action by a professional film crew. As someone who loves retro gaming, still owns an Atari 2600, my OG Nintendo Entertainment System, a Jaguar, and a Jaguar CD, from Atari, a PlayStation 2, an Xbox 360. Like, I have never gotten rid of any of my consoles. I still have an old original Game Boy. I still have an old Sega Game Gear. Like, I kept it all. And I even have some of those little Tiger handheld games. Okay. I have purchased multiple gaming collections for my Xbox because I still love those old, awesome retro games. The other reasons that I'm really excited about this or looking forward to playing this, and if I have to play it on my PC, believe me, I will. I've played plenty of games on my PC. I'm just primarily a console gamer. I'll play it one way or another, is because of the freaky looking cutscenes. There is some gnarly stuff going on in there, and I'm definitely curious to see what these cinematic sequences entail, how they pertain to the game, and really just how this plot is going to unfold. I mean, it's got a pretty basic premise. She's having weird dreams. Then in reality, she can't find the person she's dreaming about. I like that it's an original concept, and I'm just excited to check it out.
Well, since Hellcat's going to mention all of her retro gaming systems, I'm just going to say that I still have my Nintendo 64, No Mercy and Revenge for life. So I know we haven't talked about any horror video games in a while, and honestly, nothing's really come out that's really caught our eye. But last month there was some kind of event going on called Black Summer, and it was just nothing but horror video game trailers just dumping onto my YouTube feed. And I was like, what are all these trailers? We watched a lot of horror video game trailers this month. This was one of the most notable ones that kind of stuck out to us. There were a few other ones that I wouldn't mind playing, but for the sake of this video, we're just going to talk about this one. I mean, honestly, when the trailer first started, I didn't really think anything of it. But then when they mixed the live action stuff into it, and honestly, whatever that freaky two-headed thing is with the freaking tongue coming out like a snake or whatever, I was sold. The live action cutscenes look awesome. The game looks great. It really holds true to that retro style with the graphics and even the sound effects and like the footsteps and stuff. And honestly, a lot of people get hung up on graphics, and I really don't think graphics really matter. It's all about the gameplay and the story. Because you could have the best graphics known to man, but if your character controls like a tank and the story sucks, then you're not going to have fun. But if the controls are good and the gameplay is fun and the story is great, who cares what it looks like? Case in point, I had a blast playing Deadly Premonition, even though it was so over the top ridiculous at points, but I had a blast playing it. It doesn't have the best graphics, but it's great. But then I played the Callisto Protocol that just came out within the last year or so, which has great graphics, but it's terrible in my opinion. So there's that. Anyway, this game looks great. I'm not really a PC gamer, but I really hope this comes to consoles. If it doesn't come to consoles, then maybe eventually I will just play it on PC because it looks fun. Can't wait.
VHS 85. Unveiled through a made-for-TV documentary, 5 tales of found footage horror emerge to take viewers on a terrifying journey into the grim underbelly of the 1980s.
The 5 stories of VHS 85 are directed by David Bruckner, who you might know from The Night House and The Ritual, Scott Derrickson, who directed Sinister and The Black Phone, Natasha Kermani, who directed Lucky from 2020, Mike P. Nielsen, who directed Wrong Turn from 2021, and The Domestics. And then Gigi Sao Guerrero, who directed Bingo Hell.
Nope, still not sick of films, shows, and whatever else that take place in the 80s. Still listen to 80s music. I was born in the 80s. Feel like a lot of good and some of the best horror films and some of my favorite horror films came out of that decade. Yeah, I wasn't old enough until, the 90s and 2000s to appreciate a lot of it, but I appreciate it to this day. The year 1985 is obviously a part of the reason that I'm automatically interested in this. Aside from that, I have really enjoyed the majority of the prior VHS films. I didn't love the majority of the short films in the last VHS movie, but the ones that I liked, I really liked. I am hoping I will get the same thing here. I am especially excited that David Bruckner has a short in here. I am so obsessed with his film, The Night House. The Ritual was very impressive. I was not expecting to like that film as much as I did, among other awesome things he's done. So definitely looking forward to this. So stoked to have another one of these come out in October. Cannot wait to watch it. Super glad it's coming out soon. If you guys check it out, please drop us a line in the comments or contact us on Instagram or something. We would love to know what you think.
Anything to do with footage looking like it was on a VHS tape, I am just a sucker for. It doesn't even have to be, this series called VHS. It could just be any horror movie that's made to look like a VHS tape. I'm a sucker for that. I'm super psyched to see David Bruckner's segment and even Scott Derrickson's segment. I know not everybody's a huge fan of the film Sinister, but I really enjoyed it. And if you remember, there was like some found footage, quote unquote, type segments in that movie when Ethan Hawke's character finds the box with the film inside of it. And when he plays it, there's these home movies of just really sick shit. If Scott Derrickson's able to translate that into, a VHS segment, I feel like he could really make something that would blow me away personally. We're recording this before it's actually out, but by the time you hear this, it's going to be out. So we are definitely going to check this out. And when we do our What We Watched video for our October movies, we will definitely be talking about it there. So be sure to be subscribed and not miss that.
As always, thank you so much for watching. Leave a comment letting us know your thoughts on these trailers, all of which will be linked below along with our store and social media pages. Until next time!